Invictus, my kings, and welcome back to the Slavicus Maximus channel, and welcome to Top 5 Lost Total War features, where we go over all the features that were beloved by the community, however unfortunately were lost to time and are no longer relevant in modern Total War. Number 5 on our list are General Speeches, obviously in Rome Total War, Medieval 2 Total War, and they were pretty good even in Shogun 2 Total War. They were just very immersive. There was something cinematic about them that really made you hype about the battle that you're about to fight. And especially in the campaign, the context of the whole battle was really set out in these general speeches and made you sort of curious about what the general speech was going to be about, what the general was going to talk about, how he's going to talk about the battle itself, the enemy. And you had a bunch of really cool traits, for example, in Medieval 2, where I think it was called Feck, where you could just hear him insult the enemy over and over again, and overall a really great feature, unfortunately lost to time. Staying with the theme of cinematic immersion, our number 4 pick is the agent videos that play whenever you perform an action. And these were present in Shogun 1, Medieval 2, and Shogun 2. And honestly, again, they added a lot of immersion. I'm here showcasing the Shogun 1 agent cinematic videos. But overall, they were pretty good in all the games that they were present in. They just made you a little more invested in whatever your agent was doing, and they made it more personal. They were fun. And overall, it's a great shame that they're no longer with us. Getting into the meat of things, and with our number 3 pick, the ability to split off small contingents of your army from the main army without the need of a new general. And honestly, this one is very impactful, especially since I just recently played a Total War Remastered campaign here on this channel. Please check it out if you haven't. But the ability to split off troops and cycle in and out troops that were just in battle, the ability to reinforce the front line without the need for a new general was really something refreshing. And it added a whole new gameplay depth, or I guess old gameplay depth in this case, to the strategic level, and it was incredibly refreshing compared to the newer Total Wars. It's something, honestly, that I wish we will get back, and just because there are some engine limitations, we just don't have that anymore, which is a great shame, and I hope it comes back very soon. Number 2 on our list is Dynamic Population, and honestly, this is something really refreshing when you go back to Rome Total War especially, but you can see it even somewhat in Medieval 2 Total War, especially with the limit on the amount of troops that you can build. But in Rome Total War, it was something that really made an impact in your game. Whenever you recruited a unit, it would go from the population pool. Whenever you disband a unit, it goes back into the population pool. You can dynamically colonize your cities with this, and it even played a major role when it comes to, for example, getting the Marian reforms. You can't really get the Marian reforms as the Roman families unless you build an imperial palace. But for that to happen, your cities have to grow to a certain number, and so you had to really push. If you wanted to go for the early Marian reforms, you had to push the population up quite with various means, whether that be building units in other cities and disbanding them in your main city, or just doing whatever, or just not recruiting that much from the city where you designated to build the imperial palace. It was quite a lot of fun, and it was quite very dynamic, added a whole new layer to the strategic aspect of the game, and it's a great shame that it's no longer in the modern games. And the number 1 Lost Total War feature is the ability to build whatever building in whatever city you wanted, without any caps, without any limitations. Honestly, the modern province system is a little strange. It sort of leads to uniformity, paradoxically. The less options you have, the more you just build the same thing over and over again, because it's optimal, and you don't really focus on building variety. You don't really focus on building things that would boost your growth, for example, a little bit. You mostly focus on the same 5 or 6 buildings. You build them in every province, whereas when you had the ability to build whatever, wherever, your cities became a little more dynamic, a little more varied. You could really build whatever town you wanted. You could really focus on building the most optimal buildings, but maybe not quite so many optimal buildings. It was really a great experience to go back to Rome Total War Remastered recently and to really immerse myself in the building whatever, wherever, and it was really, really nice. And so that's the top 5. I know I left out naval battles, but naval battles aren't really something that I consider to be a great loss. I was never a big fan of naval battles, but I know some people really like naval battles, so let's consider it an honorary mention. Naval battles. If this was a top 6 list, they would have made the 6th spot. But anyway, thanks, Kings, for watching. Hopefully enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.